Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is not another vlog. Sorry for those of you that want to see a vlog. No, today we're gonna discuss my home daycare visit, and we're gonna discuss what happened with the social worker and go through a few things for the daycare. So basically, when she walked in the door, did a lot of small talk. The first thing that she asked me though was, I swear, every interview for a job that I've ever went on, people always ask me this. It's the very first thing that they ask, because I'm short. I'm really short, and most of the time I really don't look my age. I do dress my age, but apparently they still say I don't look my age, so people think I don't look my age. So the very first thing she said was, "Oh my gosh, you're so tiny. You're so tiny. How old are you?" Yeah, no, I'm an adult. Yeah, I just look really tiny. That is literally the very first question that anybody that interviews that I went on have ever asked me. And people who I haven't gone interviews to work with, they ask me the same thing too. Like people who I'm just getting to know, acquaintances or something, they ask me the same thing too. "Oh, you look so young. How old are you?" It's totally a compliment. It's a compliment, but then it's bad, because as soon as I hear that from a job interview that I'm going on, I automatically know they're not gonna hire me. But for the daycare, I know the daycare is not a matter of them hiring you or not, because you're your own boss. You just have to get approval from the state to do it. So I was okay with it. So I just kind of got used to people asking me, "Oh, you look so young. How old are you?" Yeah, I have 3 kids, and I'm an adult, and my oldest is almost an adult himself. So yeah, I may look young, but I'm not young, you guys. I'm not. So we were doing like small talk, and she was telling me about her morning and her day, and she asked about my kids and where my kids were. They were sleeping. My kids were sleeping when she came, and they were literally asleep the entire time she was here. My kids can sleep, you guys, only because most of the time they don't sleep at night. I guess my kids are literally like vampires. They sleep during the day and they are up all night. Okay, I sleep train my kids like all the time. I have to sleep train them, because they get back on their schedule at night. Then maybe like a week, not even a week, like almost a week later, they're off that schedule again. And then the next week they're sleeping through the night again. But then they're off their schedule again. Like, it's so complicated with my kids. But let's get back to the daycare. So we did a lot of small talk when she first walked in. And then after she pulled out her phone, her work phone, I guess she said, she was taking pictures of, I had a fire inspection. She was taking pictures of the items that needed to be completed that weren't completed when the fire inspector came out. So basically I had a dryer vent that needed to be, not vent, the thing in the back of the dryer, the venting in the back of the dryer needed to be fixed. The fire alarm in the kitchen was not working when she was here. There was no fire alarm in the basement. A fire detector, how you say it? Am I saying it right? Fire alarm, fire detector? I don't know. There was no carbon monoxide. Guys, oh my gosh. Carbon monoxide detector in the basement. There are 2 emergency windows in my son's room and our homeschool room, that the step in the emergency window needed to be a little bit higher to safely remove the kids in case of a fire. In the hall by the bathroom at my daughter's room, the smoke alarm was down. We had it, but it was down, it wasn't up. And then in our basement, one of the outlet covers were the wrong outlet cover. It was too small, and it was supposed to be a bigger one. So those are the stuff that, and the breaker box. The breaker box it wasn't labeled when she came. So everything that the fire inspector noted when she was here, the licensor, the home inspection lady for the daycare, she needed to take a picture of those things and make sure they were all completed, and she needed to send the photos back to the fire inspector for me to have a okay, and they give like a certificate that you passed or something like that for the fire inspector. So that's what she did first. She went through all the fire inspection stuff first, and then what she did next is she looked through all the toys to make sure they were age appropriate toys, or make sure if there were little tiny ones that I had that one away from the young ones, because I have my room separated, which I'll show you in an updated daycare tour video. I was gonna post it earlier on, but I don't want to post it yet until I actually get my license, because I'm really excited to show you guys how it looks, because my whole daycare looks so amazing. I can't believe how good it looks. No, I don't have like a little like those thing in regular daycare center, but I have like a home daycare, and I wanted to feel like a homely thing, and I didn't want kids dumping out everything, dumping out all the toys. So the way I have it, they won't be able to dump everything out. So basically she looked at all the toys, making sure for the infants that there were nothing that they would be able to choke on in their part of the room. And so basically, yeah, so that's what she did. And by the way, I'm not doing infants again, but I will let you know why in a different video when I talk about all the paperwork and what's needed for each age. That will be in a different video. And then, so next thing she did was she went into the kitchen and she made sure all the sharp objects, scissors, knives were put away up high. And she made sure all the chemicals were up high or in a log cabinet. And she made sure the fire extinguisher was mounted. Fire extinguisher was mounted on the wall so that if I need it quick, I can get it. So it can't be in a cabinet or locked away. It has to be mounted in a wall where you can easily access it. So she made sure the kitchen was good. The next thing she did was she checked all the fire alarms. Like I said, she didn't have to come in the basement and check the fire alarm here again, because she already did that with the fire inspection report. She did the first in the beginning. And then so I went around and I had to set off all the alarms for her to look at. And guess what? My kids still did not wake up, guys. They still slept through those fire alarms going off. Okay, so anyway, let's get back to it. Making sure, yeah. So then she had to, on the daycare walls, I had to have a few papers that were supposed to be hung up so parents can immediately see them. One of them being my husband smokes and drinks in the home. So that being that I had to post in several places and available for the parents to see that this is my husband smokes and drinks in here, but he's not going to do these things during daycare hours. If you didn't know that, that is illegal. Secondhand smoke is, is bad, guys. But it's illegal to smoke in a daycare home or a daycare with children present, or a home when children is present. He does do it. He does do it when our kids are in the house still. But the home inspector, she does know that. But it's different when you have other kids that are not your kids. So I did have to post that he will be smoking and drinking in the home, but not during daycare hours and after hours and on the weekend and stuff like that. So I had to have that sign up. I had to have my emergency numbers up. I had to have my emergency preparedness plan up. I had to have, I don't have to keep attendance, but for me, I'm going to keep attendance. But if I'm applying to take state aid, where the parents have help from the government to pay for their childcare, or help from the state to pay for the childcare, if I want to take that, then I need to keep attendance. So I still haven't decided on if I wanted to take that or not. Most likely that will be the case, because I want to, help, be able to help people. So, so basically she saw my attendance thing up there where the twin girls are coming all the time. So I just have their parents, their mom and grandfather signing it out. So that was up. And then I had my food list up, like what I'm serving for the month. And then I had to have my fire fire alarm. Right. Emergency drill, like you're supposed to have an emergency fire drill every month with the kids. I had that paper up, but I haven't had any kids, and the twin girls are not here all the time to do that with them. So I had to have that up. And she also had to check in the kitchen the fire extinguisher. She also had to check the receipt for the fire extinguisher. She had to check the receipt for that to make sure it's the right date and what date I bought it in year, and make sure that it's up to date. So next is the paperwork. When we sat down and did the paperwork part of the home visit, it was so much paperwork that we had to go through, you guys. It took us almost 2 hours to go through just the paperwork. She was here from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and most of it was going through the paperwork. It's so much paperwork that you have to keep. So what she did also, since I'm watching the twins, she did also go through the paperwork that I already have for them. And she, you know, the more paperwork that she gave me, she's like, okay, you see, you have this here. Well, you need this added to it. You know what I'm saying? She gave me more papers that I needed to collect from she gave me all the papers that I needed to collect from the parents. But she showed me what I didn't have for the twins and what I needed more. So basically, she said the state or county, whatever you live in, they provide the paperwork for you, and then you just have to continuously keep making copies of it, or you can download it from their website. And then those are what the papers that you have to give the parents. It's so much paperwork. It's a ton of paperwork, you guys. Ton of paperwork. So then we went to that. Then okay, went to the items. So then we went through the items that I needed more for the daycare, the list of items that I needed to buy, and a list of things I need to fix. So let's talk about the items that I need to buy. So in the bathroom, excuse me, guys. In the bathroom, she noted that the trash can that I have didn't have a cover on it. So the children are not allowed to access the trash in the kitchen or the bathroom. The kitchen has a cover on it. The bathroom trash does not. So I had to buy a trash for the bathroom that does not have a kitchen that does have a cover on it for the bathroom. That's one thing I have to buy. The next thing I have to buy is yellow spray paint or red spray paint, because we're licensing our basement too, where my husband and I room is, only for one child. The only child that this basement will be licensed for is my daughter, because during the day she will be coming down here with my son to play and interact with him down here, and she is included in my enrollment count. So the basement has to be licensed because she will be down here. She's not 11 years old. In the state that I live in Minnesota, they count your kids from newborn to 11 years old, and your own kids are counted from newborn to 11 years old, basically. They're counted in your enrollment count, and you have to treat them the same way that you would treat your daycare kids in the precautions of safety and everything. So because my daughter is counted in the enrollment count, I needed the spray paint, yellow or red spray paint, to draw 18 inches around the furnace and the water heater, so that she never goes in there, or we don't put anything in that 18 inches around those two things. And then also, this door right here, it slides, it closes, it slides over, but it doesn't have a lock on it. So because she's gonna be down here, my landlord is gonna put a lock on the door, so that my daughter won't be able to access it to open it during the day. And then I have there's like a big gape, a hole in towards my bed my bed is that way, towards my bed over there, going to the unfinished side of the basement. So what my landlord told us is that side had two swing doors, one swing in the bottom and one swing door in the bottom and one swing door in the top. There were two different doors there, and they just didn't close up that hole on the bottom part. They already did the top. So I asked him to close that hole for me, or gape or whatever. It's huge. I don't know if you would call it a hole. Gape to close that so my daughter won't have access to the unfinished part of the basement. And then, so basically my maintenance guy is going to put a vent in that part because we still have to get heat. Our vent down here in the basement is in the unfinished part of the basement. So we still have to get heat coming into the room. Otherwise, my children are going to be freezing down here. So instead of closing it off with wood or drywall or whatever that's called, he's just going to put that as like a vent so the heat can still come in that way, being as I have to close this door off while my daughter is down here. So I needed spray paint. I need the trash for the bathroom. I need, we needed, what else? Okay, let me go back to that because I don't remember. I got memory what else I need. I wrote it all down, guys. And then to fix now, the stuff that needed to be fixed, there are paint chips in my son's room where the paint is coming off the wall a little bit. And then there are 2 holes in the drywall that need to be fixed. And then the baseboards need to be corked with a little bit more stuff on it to keep the baseboard together in that room. And then in the living room by the front door, there's a big hole in this, not a big hole, it's like a little hole like this in the stucco, and that needs to be fixed as well. And then, and those were the major things that need to be fixed. To buy now, oh, I also need goggles. I need to buy these. I need goggles, safety goggles, that you would use for like a chainsaw or something. I need those for the bloodborne pathogens for this first aid kit. So they want you to wear goggles if one of the children get hurt and they're bleeding. They want you to put on goggles. So I need to buy the goggles. And then I also need Ziploc bags because she said that I needed to have gloves, which I have gloves in the first aid kit already. I needed to have gloves and liquid hand soap in the Ziploc bag together, so that way I can clean my hands or whatever after. So I need to buy Ziploc bags, and I also need to buy the liquid hand soap. I have hand soap, but she said it needs to be like one of those travel size liquid hand soap to put in the Ziploc bag so I could put in my safety backpack that I have for my first aid kit. So those are the things that happened with my home visit for my daycare, and I want to thank you for watching, and subscribe down below if you want to see more about my daycare or more about my family. Thanks for watching. Let's keep the comments positive. Thank you. Bye.